Hey viewers, please don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel. Let's go.
Greetings. Today's show invites you to listen and reflect on the real-life experiences and challenges of individuals. Join us as we delve into their stories and consider ways to offer support and guidance. Story 1. The protagonist 30M discovers that his wife 30F of 6 years and first love had been cheating on him. Let's listen to him. Found out my wife first love F30 had been cheating on me M30. 30M recently found out that my wife 30F of 6 years and partner for just short of 10 years had been cheating on me. I've read a few stories since everything has happened and thought I might share mine, as reading those helped me a little, so I hope this might help someone in return. My wife, who is also my first love and at the time the only woman I had ever been with both sexually and in a relationship of any sort, had always been a roller coaster to be with, lots of ups and downs over the years. Some of the downs were bad enough that I thought about leaving her several times, but she'd always surprise me at that point, being a great partner again and had been there for me through some tough times after my mother passed. Plus then we had kids, the first being IVF, which I supported her through. I am just a farmer, but a good one, top of my field you might say, no pun intended, so I make not to bad coin. Just enough not to be struggling all the time, and plus I had inheritance that I used to put deposit down on a farm of my own that I also worked hard on to one day hope to be able to work from home. I provided her a home and paid all the utilities etc. and mostly half of the groceries, any creature comforts she had to pay for. I even paid for some of her horse hobby stuff. The only thing I refused to do was clothes washing, so not exactly a life of luxury, but I always tried to provide everything and then some for anything she asked for. Anyway, fast forward to after baby number 2, I have a feeling she was suffering postnatal depression. I offered to help in whatever way I could many times, to which she never accepted or told me there was nothing wrong. After a bit she wanted a bit more space, I guess you could say. And the more I gave the more she wanted, it seemed. I'd look after the kids as often as I could, often sneaking out of work early to do so. She started doing gym, to get better looking for me, she would say. I was very against it because I'm yet to hear of a good scenario in this situation. Her ex-best friend did exactly that, which they had a falling out over. She assured me it was fine, and to addition to be able to keep up with the kids, she also had supposedly started netball through a work colleague. There was many late nights away from home. A lot of the time she would pick THR kids up and take them home to me and then go back into town, that being 40 minutes in one direction. We had always had great intimacy up until this stage where it started to taper off, until I felt as though it was almost a transaction once every few weeks, and it would only ever be in positions where she could see my face. Also, bedtime affection had dropped off altogether also. Couldn't even put my hand on her in bed without her losing her cool. She'd never been real affectionate, but this was getting ridiculous. But I was committed to the relationship and making things work, so I'd often offer to do extra on top of my already very busy days in the means of just doing stuff for her or date nights etc. But she was never interested. I'm not sure when this took place, but it was during this period she claimed to have a work party to go to. Not an official one, just a gathering of work colleagues. Usually we'd get babysitters and I'd go along even though I had to be up very early for work, but this time we had a big argument how she didn't want me to go because I'm always tired and want to go home at a reasonable hour, and guilt-tripped me into saying how she didn't want to be the wife that resents her husband for never letting her out of the house, so I went along with it and let her go by herself. The day came around and she hardly texted me. We used to text a lot, but that was also on the decline. I texted her something along the lines of how I was worried for her, to which she assumed for her safety. I didn't say I was worried about her cheating on me, but I remember texting back to say it wasn't about her safety I was worried about, and she told me she'd never cheat on me. I got home to find multiple pairs of clothes on the bed spread out in choices, very out of character for her. Usually she just decides as she picks them out. Before I fell asleep I texted her to wake me when she was home. It got very late, but eventually she got home around 2 a.m. and went straight for the shower. Also very out of character. I was awake but pretended to be sleeping. She went straight to sleep without even coming close to me. Fast forward about 4 months, things still on the decline. We went on a vacation with her family like we do occasionally. I tried to have a good time regardless. By now I had also approached her and told her she was acting way out of ordinary, to which she tried to make me believe that she had self-diagnosed herself with ADHD, and her admitting that to herself was how she was able to finally lose weight. I didn't buy it. It's true what everyone says, there are signs for cheating, being cold, always hiding her phone and conversations from me, always on vibrate. The mountain of lies and excuses I had been getting and made to believe. On the last night of the vacation I couldn't stand it anymore. I woke up late in the night and grabbed her phone and went to one particular messaging app, to which I found a pretty serious emotional affair happening and even plans to meet this one guy. To such depth she had made up an entire life of lies. According to her lies, her dad owned my farm where she lived and he grew the crops that I did, and I was a contract farmer that was never around to look after my kids. And that's just the surface of the lies. She also shared non-explicit suggestive pictures with this guy, always making jokes about sucking on a lollipop. She hardly ever gave me head in 10 years. At this point she started stirring, so I put her phone back and pretended to sleep. She woke and checked her phone and went back to sleep. I got up and paced the block for hours in my PJs while it was almost freezing outside. I rang my dad eventually about 5 a.m. because I knew he'd be up early, and talked to him a while about it and suggested I should talk to her dad as I got along with him great too. 6 a.m. comes around and I grab her dad from his bed and take him outside to talk about her emotional affair. He pointed out that she had been walking away from everyone with phone calls all the time, to which she always told me it was always her new best friend or wedding planning for her other friend. Little did I know it was much deeper than this one guy. I confronted her that morning about the one guy, to which she didn't admit to anything until I said, "I've seen the messages." I have a feeling she thought I meant these other messages I was about to see in a week's time, and broke down crying, saying she broke our relationship. I at that point was willing to forgive her, as it was only an emotional affair and we finished out holiday. A week goes by at home. Nothing had improved. Even worse even. She used every excuse not to sleep next to me or even in the same bed. Often using our eldest daughter as an excuse to sleep in her room with her or her between us. The lack of love was killing me now after the 1 week. One night she was sleeping in our daughter's room and she had been keeping her phone closer than ever to her, but then I realized that her Apple Watch was synchronized to her phone and it was on my bedside table. I grabbed the watch and fumbled through the apps, as I'm unfamiliar with Apple technology, but eventually get to a different messaging app than last time and see a recent conversation from someone only marked as "Babe Heart." That's not super unusual for her to name her friends like that with a heart, but I still opened it up and proceeded to read. Lots of messages asking how his day was, etc., lots of which would be stuff she'd normally send to me. I was that confused I even opened my phone up to cross-check messages, but none of them were identical to mine. I kept scrolling until I found some confessions of love saying how she didn't think she'd ever love such a younger man, 24, and how he didn't think he'd ever love an older woman, etc. I scrolled further and I wish I didn't. I seen a message from him saying, "You have my baby inside of you." I completely flipped out at this point and woke her and my daughter up, asking her if it was true. She swore she wasn't pregnant but admitted to the affair that it started on the night of the work party and admitted to his convenience somewhere on her way home. She wouldn't leave my house until the next morning, where I had arranged the in-laws to pick up the kids so I could wrap my head around what just happened. I had rang my dad and any of my friends that would pick up their phone that late in the night, as I didn't know what else to do. Even though I was half expecting what to find didn't make it hurt any less. It was the most awful emotional pain I've ever felt, so much worse than losing my mother. I couldn't sleep or eat for days. Almost a year down the track I'm doing much better, but I still think about it from time to time. Many people were worried I'd take my own life, but that was never on the cards for me. She has since lost her new best friend, as well as they also work in the same place, and my wife had since been spreading lies around about it all. I'm not sure on the details there, but I'm told her friend had to keep straightening the story out with everyone and got sick of being used by my wife, as she had been also living at her place after I kicked her out. I had also found out she introduced the new guy to my kids only a month later. We have the kids 50-50, I wouldn't take any less. I also found out through her mother that she didn't think I'd just flat out kick her out and end it like that. I'm also seeing someone new now and things are looking great other than the legal stuff that happens now where I risk losing a good chunk of my farm to her. I know some will say it's pretty soon for me to see someone new, but it's really helped me. There's way more detail I could add, but I think that's plenty enough. Again, sorry for the long read, but it's good to get it off my chest. As we delve into the story of this relationship, it's crucial to remember that every person's perspectives and experiences are unique and hold their own worth. Let's make an effort to listen to what others have to say on the subject. Commenter 1 says, "The farm thing is a hard one. Even after cheating and manipulate you, she still has the audacity of trying to get the farm from you. What a boss." Commenter 2 says, "So she cheated and is trying to take half your shit. That's crazy, but keep your head up, my friend. Karma is a funny thing, you just gotta wait, but it will come." My opinion for the OP. That's the sign of an abusive relationship, and she could also have some mental issues, but I'm not a psychiatrist. Love is not about adventures, despite what the movies say. Love is about stability. Plain old boring stability. Good thing that you dumped her. And while you already have a lawyer, it won't hurt getting a second opinion, so consider that. As for how to move on, just keep yourself busy. Find new hobbies, hit the gym, learn French, join a cooking lesson. Focus on your kids, and you might consider DNA testing them. If you can face whatever results may come, focus on those around you who care about you, and make your ex just a small part of your past. Story 2. Wife now wants to work it out. I am 38 caught my wife, F36, having an affair right after Thanksgiving. We have been married for 14.5 years now. She met a guy at a bar during girls' night, gave him her number, and they began having an emotional affair. Then it progressed and she slept with him, and I found messages where they planned to be together forever. I work out of town for 3 days out of the week, and she told me that she was lonely and I didn't pay her enough attention. I was devastated to the point that I couldn't really function. I left the house and went to my parents while she stayed in the house with our 2 daughters. I begged her not to do this multiple times, and she told me that she wasn't happy and that she found someone that could make her happy. I got a lawyer and started the divorce process. We already have a split made and now it's just finalizing the process. I started dating a woman and it was going pretty well. She was pretty much everything you could want in a woman. She was highly educated, fit, funny, has a great career, has her own money, etc. She wanted commitment from me that I couldn't give because I am still very much in love with my wife. So I broke it off with her and called my wife again to beg her to take me back. I'm actually ashamed of me crying to her and pleading. She again told me no and said that she was happier now than she ever was with me. The very next weekend I planned to take my oldest daughter out for dinner since I haven't had one-on-one time and my youngest was staying with a friend. I show up to the house to pick my daughter up and I invite my wife thinking that she would decline. She accepted and went to dinner with us. We had a nice dinner and great conversation. My daughter stayed the night with me and I thought that was the end of it. When I dropped my daughter off the next day, my wife said that she wanted to fix our marriage. We ended up writing emails back and forth and she told me the things that she didn't like about me were things that she saw me fix while I have been without her. When I pressed her about what changed her mind, she ended up telling me that the guy that she was sleeping with rejected her and blocked her on all platforms. Now that I know this, it makes me not want to be with her. I don't want to be her safe and second choice. She's the love of my life and I want her to love me like I love her. It disgusts me that she was intimate with another man in my house and in my bed. On the other hand, I will never be able to love someone as much as I love her. I know that if I work it out with her that my children's lives will be better because of it. She also wants me to get a different job that will allow me to be home every night, and that would severely limit my upward trajectory in the company I work for. She flat refuses to move for the sake of my job, and she expects me to sacrifice my career for our marriage that she destroyed. I don't know what to do in this situation. I feel like if the other man was still around she would be with him and she wouldn't give two shits about me. I think she was more upset that her affair of 8 weeks ended than she was about our 14-year marriage ending. Any advice would be appreciated. Hey OP. No offense, I will be blunt cause you need to hear this. And I know I will be downvoted. Stop being a doormat, for the love of God man, this was genuinely tough to read. There is nothing wrong with loving your spouse, but answer the following. Why were you working out of town? Was it not for your family? Why is it that you must bear the responsibility for her actions when she is the one committing them? Does she not know that you are making these sacrifices for your family? Why is it that you accept yourself to be a second choice? What if next month, year or decade he messages her back? Then what? Do you think she will not leave you then? Can you genuinely look at yourself in the mirror and answer these honestly? Look man, sometimes it's painful to confront truths about ourselves, but the first step of improvement is accepting these truths. Grow a backbone, and for the love of God, she isn't the love of your life. The love of your life would not stab you in the back. Tell me, if you consider her the love of your life, then what about your enemies? Overall, best of luck man, genuinely best of luck, but keep in mind your wife isn't a safe partner. Story 3. Wife 26 spilled her secrets to her Reddit lesbian lover. My wife 26 spilled her deepest secrets to her Reddit lesbian lover. And I, 27, know everything now. Before marriage, my wife told me that she's sexually attracted to women. She'd been watching lesbian porn since high school. But she said she was far more attracted to men, especially emotionally. She said she could never be in a relationship with a woman. With my permission, 2 years ago she occasionally sexted with a lesbian on Reddit. I really didn't care. Our marriage was decent, and I thought the idea was kind of hot. That stopped when she deleted her Reddit account. But I noticed she got a new account cause I saw the app on her phone a few days ago. She was on the app a lot. Like for hours at a time over the past few days. She closed her phone quickly when I entered the room. I crossed the ethical lines, because I know her phone password. When she was asleep, I opened up Reddit. It was the same girl. They were sexting, exchanging nudes, etc. Although I didn't like the secretiveness, this was not the end of the world for me. But I read on. They developed such a strong friendship. But my wife told this lesbian girl that she could never date a girl. That's good for me, right? My wife insisted that she's only sexually attracted to women, but unequivocally not emotionally. Good, right? These two women kept exchanging secrets to one another. My wife said that she occasionally spoke to the man she lost her virginity to in college. A year into marriage, she met up with him. But she was so nervous she just sat in the car. She said she could never forgive herself if she actually slept with him while married. She said this man has offered to fly her to his home, but that she could never accept. She even said that she's sent him the occasional nude. The last time she's chatted with him was 3 months ago. She says she hates herself for this, will be taking it to the grave, and that her husband could never know. She says that nobody knows except her secret Reddit lesbian lover. She also told her secret Reddit lesbian lover that she has an extreme crush on one of my close friends. That she would 100% fuck him if she wasn't married. We've been out drinking together, and it all makes sense. On multiple occasions when she was drunk and I insisted we go home, she has only ever had a massive fight with me about it when this guy was there. What the hell should I do? How do I confront her? I was an asshole in looking at her phone, but now it can't be taken back. We don't have any kids and I absolutely love her. She had a tough upbringing with family deaths, etc. And so I understand that she's often an emotional confused mess. Should I talk to anybody about this? I mean, other than a counselor or lawyer. I don't want to unnecessarily slander her name around town. I want to be married to her. But this is a lot. We've been fighting more and more over the past few years, and this probably explains a lot. I just wanna say this to OP. Hey op, guess what, she's your wife and that alone gives you the right to look through her phone, car, purse, etc. You do not have to apologize for looking at your wife's Reddit account, because I would put money on the fact that your wife has gone through your phone, etc. and that's what a good marriage has, transparency. I would definitely talk to your wife about everything you found, but be forewarned she may start to delete messages, pictures, etc. afterwards. Or start using Snapchat when contacting her friends. And as far as your close friend she wants to fuck, he should not be a close friend anymore just in case. Good luck. So viewers, reflecting on the personal journeys of others. By listening to the unique stories of individuals, we are able to gain new perspectives and insights into the diverse experiences that make up the world around us. These stories inspire us and offer the opportunity for growth and self-improvement through the sharing of experiences. Join us on this journey of discovery by subscribing to our channel and continue to explore new perspectives together. Thank you for being a part of this.